what's up everybody? So today is going to be finally T-Day. I can actually give my final verdict for ASUS's PG27UQ, which is the 4K 144Hz monster, which a lot of people all around the world were waiting for quite some time, and you know, last year it finally came out, but finally now in 2019 in April I can actually give my verdict, because they were pretty hard to come by, and yeah, it costs around, you know, 2,500 euros here in East Europe, and for East Europe that's almost half a year's paycheck. Well, almost. So I had to wait for my chance, and ASUS sent me one example for me to test out here. And so in today's video I'm gonna try and talk about all the features, how it performs, how's the HDR and stuff like that, and what is my overall, you know, honest opinion about it, with all the positive and negative things. So if you're interested, keep checking, and yeah, take a look at some of B-roll footage that I shot for you, so you can take a little bit closer peek at the monitor, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it. So, as you can see, the design of the monitor is absolutely stunning. Another proper great job from a ROG development team. Really magnificent looking. And it boasts like the most top-end features in the world that you would, you know, wanna see in a monitor. And maybe some features that you never ever wanna see in a monitor. But all of that I'm gonna come through in a second. But to start things off, you know, yeah, it is a proper 4K panel running on 144Hz, right? And it's using NVIDIA's G-Sync, so that's like a perfect combo for a proper gaming monitor, right? You don't have to use 4K, right? If you have a, you know, if you don't have a RTX 2080 Ti, you can still use, you know, 2560x1440 and still get a really good, nice, clear image, right? But this monitor offers 4K 144Hz. That's also why the price tag of the monitor is around 2,500 euros. But on top of those things, it does have HDR10, which is absolutely insane. I did testing on this monitor on HDR and in DOM glances to Division 2, and the game looked absolutely stunning at 4K at maximum detail, running on my ROG Strix RTX 2080 Ti. I mean, HDR on and off, I mean, it was like, okay, it wasn't like night and day, but it was like clearly visible. The most interesting thing that I noticed were, you know, all the pretty much like explosions and fire effects. They just popped out of the screen. It was just absolutely beautiful to watch. So, you know, playing games on this monitor with HDR10 turned on, and of course it's an IPS panel with DCI-P3, right? It's just absolutely stunning how beautiful it is. And of course it's a quantum dot display with also local dimming, so it has 384 dots, I think, where it can, you know, set the peak brightness a little bit better. So I mean, HDR is just absolutely amazing on this monitor. But coupled with, you know, 4K 144Hz G-Sync and all other kinds of features like, you know, a flicker-free technology, right? And also low blue light technology. I mean, all of those things put together into one display is just absolutely insane. And yeah, before we move on, quickly coming to the ports as well, it has one display port, one HDMI, a couple of USBs, and a headphone jack. and that's about it, pretty much. So, I mean, kinda lackluster amount of ports, which is odd for a 2500 euro monitor, right? There definitely are things that I would have loved to be a little bit better, right? And yeah, first of all, I mean, it's just 27 inches big, and for 4K, that's pretty small. I mean, at 27 inches, you know, you could still, you know, play around with 1080p or 1440p and still get almost as clear of a picture as in 4K. But still, you know, 4K still has a little bit sharper edges, but it's not that noticeable than, you know, checking it on a big, like 65-inch TV panel or something like that, or a 30 plus or 40 plus LCD panel. So that was kinda, you know, kinda a question, you know, is 4K so good for such a size of a display? So yeah, size could have been a little bit better. I would have wished they, you know, made different sizes at least, you know. If you're gonna, you know, manufacture a display like this with these kinds of features, please, you know, just make them in different sizes, not just one for each year or something like that. And then a year later, maybe a little bit bigger. No, just how hard can it be, you know, to make a little bit bigger screen? But I think, you know, it did, you know, come out last year, so maybe at that point this was, you know, the top of the top, you know, in technology that could be actually sold on the market, right? So I guess that kinda answers why it's only 27 inches. Now the second thing that I kinda, you know, kinda don't like is the fat bezels. And yeah, on top of fat bezels, it's not a curved screen, right? Curved screen does immerse you a little bit more, but at 27 inches again, you know, there's, I guess, not a real point for a curved screen. So it's a flat panel and has quite fat bezels. So yeah, these are the things that are just kind of questionable. Maybe, you know, they could be improved in the future versions, you know, if they make another, you know, 144Hz screen, 4K, maybe make, you know, bigger versions and maybe, you know, remove the bezels or something, if it's possible. On top of those things, you know, this monitor also has ASUS ROG GSYNC RGB technology. So yeah, I mean, overall, the design of the monitor, right, is really fantastic. It's absolutely incredible, even from the back, right, even more so from the back. And there's a huge ROG logo that's, you know, if the lights are, you know, turned on, it's daytime, you don't actually see any real difference. There's like the ROG logo is from chrome plastic or something like that. It looks chrome, really, really beautiful, but actually it's a RGB LED light there. So you can turn on ASUS ROG GSYNC and it will show, you know, different RGB colors, which is pretty nice. But yeah, here's the next weird part. You know, it has a really magnificent projector, or how you say. It projects the ROG logo on your wall, on your ceiling. So I mean, it looks absolutely incredible. And there's a small ROG logo projected down on your desk, and they look amazing, especially when the lights are turned off. But here's the thing: why are these lights not RGB? Why don't they have ASUS ROG GSYNC technology? I mean, for 2,500 euros and with all of these freaking features, it's just a perfect monitor, right? But these lights are just red. I mean, how hard can it be, you know, to put a RGB LED inside of those parts, right? So maybe that could change in the future, but just an odd, you know, option to only have it displaying red LED light, right? So that was kind of like, why? Anyway, I mean, on top of those, it's a really, really perfect gaming display. But there was a real issue that I had with this monitor. Now, playing games, everything like that is just absolutely perfect. Watching videos is perfect. You know, overall, it's a perfect monitor, right? At 27 inches, 2,500 euros, the overall package is totally fine. Now, the biggest thing that isn't fine is that this monitor here and a lot of other manufacturer 4K 144Hz screens have one issue, and that is that they have fans. Not me or you as the fans of the monitor, right? But like legit freaking 30 to 60 millimeter fans, small fans, multiple fans, not one fan but multiple fans inside the monitor, which make quite considerable noise. And if you're, you know, a person like me who likes to, you know, sit behind a quiet desk, in a quiet room, right? I don't listen to music that much, right? Mostly I just like to sit in a really quiet place. That's why I, you know, made my PC to be as quiet as possible. All my fans are at 5 volts, so they make literally zero sound. I, you know, switched out my HDDs because they have a spinning disk inside them, so I only have SSDs. And yeah, then I put this monitor on my desk here. I was so excited and turned it on, and fans turned on, and I was like, oh my god. I mean, I get it, it's like top-end technology, right? And it needs, you know, maybe an extra active cooling, but for me it kind of feels like it's a prototype. It's not finished. Monitors should not have fans. What happens when those fans die? You know, they're specially made, some 60 or 30 millimeter fans inside them. I haven't taken it apart completely to check it out, but I saw some reviewer, you know, further, you know, digging into the display and checking out where the fans were. And I mean, god, what happens if those fans die with time, you know? Because, you know, fans tend to, you know, gunk up and not spin anymore. And because it isn't like ROG's video cards where the fan, you know, just slowly spins and then, you know, stops when it doesn't need to spin, right? This fan turns all the time and at high RPMs. Not that high, but it's clearly audible. And at times it just goes from, let's say, it's like 50% fan speed, right? It's not 100, right? It's 50 and then jumps up to 70. It stays there for like 10 seconds and then comes down to 50. And stays there for 10 seconds, then goes up again. And that's really freaking annoying. So yeah, really, oh god, I really want to love this monitor. I really want to keep this monitor, but you know, for me, it's not for me just because of the fan. Because, you know, most of the time I'm not really playing games, but if I do want to have the best experience possible, right? But for me, the fan is just a little bit too much here. This is just, monitors should not have fans inside of them. And when I watched, you know, the initial reviews, video reviews from Linus and stuff like that, nobody talked about fans. Nobody. Only some few written reviews, you know, mentioned this freaking monitor has fans in it, but you can't hear the fans in those reviews, right? So I made a little video clip for you guys to, you know, kinda understand what noise comes from this fan. So, you know, take a listen here. Alright, so it's morning here, and I'm just doing my regular work here, right? And just can't sit behind my PC, you know, just quietly, just, you know, enjoy the silence, right? Oh god, just listen to this, listen to this. Alright, so here's my monitor, right? And the fan is here. So I'm gonna take the microphone off here and I'm gonna put it a little bit closer so you can actually hear what's going on. Alright, listen. Alright, I'm gonna switch off the monitor completely. I'm gonna leave the microphone here and I'm gonna switch the monitor off completely so you can hear the noise difference. Oh, the quietness. Oh my god, the monitor without the fan. Oh, the silence. The freaking silence. Jesus Christ. If you have to add freaking fans to a monitor, then it's not ready for launch. Alright, I mean, enough of the fans, right? But you could clearly hear how freaking annoying this fan could actually be. And yeah, I mean, overall, the monitor is totally fine, totally perfect for gaming and such, but you know, for me, just because of the fan, it's kind of like, I don't want to spend 2,500 euros for a monitor that makes me a little bit angry. Anyway, I mean, what's my overall score gonna be for ASUS PG27UQ? I'm gonna give it a proper 8 out of 10, and yeah, the biggest downside, the fans, right? They need to be removed. No more fans in any future monitor. I don't wanna see them. It's a reliability issue. If they die, you know, does the monitor die, or do they, you know, start making like really bad sound when they die or something like that? You know, it's just an accident waiting to happen, right? Another thing, I guess, you know, bezels could be a lot thinner, right? And the size of the monitors could be a little bit bigger as well. But overall, I mean, the monitor is perfect for any gamer out there, and if you don't mind a few fans blowing extra behind the monitor and making a little bit noise, then you know, it's totally fine, right? But for me, it's just not for me, sadly. And anyway, that's gonna be it for my quick little review for the PG27UQ. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like down below, or leave a like on the video and leave a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. So yeah, I'll be back at you with another monitor review, I guess, pretty soon, because I am going to take a peek at their ultrawide XG49, I guess it was. That should be pretty interesting. But the first thing that I'm gonna check out is, does it freaking have fans in it? So anyway, that's gonna be it for my quick little review here. Thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon, guys. Ciao for now.